This is the MT4. There are just a couple of buttons that you need to be acquainted with. Okay, one of them is this one. Okay, I'm going to start with this one, called the Market Watch. Okay, I'm going to click on it now. Okay, then you'll see this thing pop up. Okay, let me erase this. So what happens is, you will see all the pairs that are tradable here. Okay, and when you scroll down, you will see the commodities, the indices, so on and so forth. But if there is something that is not here, right, then especially you want to trade BTC, then you realize that BTC is not here. Okay, so there's one way to make all the pairs appear. Then you just go to right click. Over here, you do a show all. Okay, you do a show all, then you get all of them here. Okay, you see a lot more. So you even see things like cocoa, coffee, BTC, so on and so forth, all the way. Okay, so this is the same as, let's say you have MT5 as well. Okay, so this is Market Watch. So over here, you will have the bid and the ask price. Then what happens is, right, you will realize that the numbers are jumping. Okay, they are changing. Now, in the event you don't find that the numbers are jumping, then it means there's one thing you have not done, okay, which is this. Now, you go to the bottom right-hand side here, over here. Can you see there is this rectangle-like thing, and then there are numbers here? Okay, so this is to show that the price feed and the data is running. So if this is 0, 0, that means you are not logged in yet. Okay, so what you need to essentially do then is this. Okay, you have to click on this, and then you have to do a login. Okay, so you see the login tab here. You will need to put in your ID and then your password, and then the server as well. Now, all this information, right, is given to you from XC via email. Okay, so I wouldn't know what is your ID, your password, but this is the thing you need to take note, because there are so many of them. There's, let's say, US02, US03, US05, blah, blah, blah. You will need to click the correct one for the correct account. So if you're using demo, make sure you choose the one that is demo. If you're using live, choose the one that is live. Okay, and then you check this box, save account information. Okay, so once you save all the account information, right, every time you open an MT4, it will automatically run. Okay, so you don't have to forget that, don't have to worry that you'll forget your password. Okay, so just click login and then this thing will run. Next button will be this one. Okay, so this is the trade terminal if you put in a trade. So for example, right, this is one of my smaller accounts. So for example, if you already have a trade, right, then your trade will pop out here. Okay, the trade terminal. Then if there is something wrong with your EA, or that means your alum, right, then that is when the technical team will go into the experts to see what happened. What was the issue that you faced? So this is the logging of the alum data. Okay, so essentially we just look at trade and experts. Yeah. Okay. So this is the terminal. So again, if you don't have this, right, you go to here, then any empty space, you just right click, go to customize. Okay, then you will see the trade terminal sign. It looks something like a rectangle, then left side is blue color, right side is white color. So you just click on that box, then click insert. Yeah, then click close. Then it should appear here. Okay. Now, the next button, new order. Okay, so this is if you don't want to use alum to trigger your trades. Okay, when you click on this, then the order panel will come up. Okay, the order panel will come out. Then you can decide what is the volume you want to trade, what is the execution you want to do, what is the pending order you want to do. Okay, so we seldom use this unless you want to do manual trading by yourself. We highly encourage you to use alum wherever possible. Okay. Now the next important button will be this one, the auto trading. Okay, so you need to ensure that this is switched on. Okay, for your live account. Next will be the chart itself over here. Okay. Now, I normally don't use this. This is what we call the bar chart. Okay, the bar chart will be like full of lines. So if you zoom like this, so I normally will use the candlestick one or the line chart. So I normally only will focus on these two, candlestick and line. Okay, and again, if you don't have, right, these two, you just do this. Go to customize. Yeah, you should see your bar and candlestick chart here. Same thing, you just need to insert and then close. Okay. Okay, then next one will be your button, your zoom in, your zoom out. This one. Okay. Now, other than zoom in and zoom out on the chart, right, you can also scroll your chart like that. Okay, so at the right side of the axis where the prices are, you click and you hold, and then you move. Okay, to get a comfortable view. Next will be this button. Okay, this button is very important actually. This one. Hold on. This one. It looks like a play button. Okay, so when you click on this, right, the chart will always be at the leftmost. At the leftmost. That means showing the most recent price. Okay. Now you realize that sometimes when you want to drag something, right? Sometimes it might not hold its position. So when you want to drag something and it doesn't hold its position, what you can do is remove this, then you drag. Then at that place where you want to have that view, right, then it will stick or it will stay. Okay, especially when you are trying to do analysis on the leftmost of the chart, and then when you drag, right, sometimes it what do you call it? It moves. Yeah, then you can just unclick this button. But every time you click it, it will always show you the most recent data. Okay. Yeah, that's about it. Okay, now next one, the next row. Okay, so these are all the time frames. Okay, and this is the next important thing. Because whenever you try to load your template, right, you must cycle through all the time frames. Okay, from M1 all the way to MN. Okay, so your M1 will be your 1 minute, then this is your 5 minute, 15 minute, 30 minute, 1 hour, 4 hour, day 1, week, and then month chart. Okay, so that the data and your candlestick will load properly when you load the template. Okay. So again, if you don't have all these, then you just right click, customize. Yeah, then all these time frames, right, should be on the left side. So you need to insert them to have them all here. Okay. Okay, next will be drawing tools. Now, there's a couple of drawing tools that we will always use. Okay, so it could be horizontal line. Okay, trend line, equidistant channel, rectangle. Okay, and perhaps the fit levels. Okay, again, if you don't have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, these 5 common ones, right? Then what you can do is here. Go to, again, click right side. And any space, do a left click, sorry. Left click. The right click, sorry. Then go to customize. Then whatever of these 5 that that is not already selected and seen here, right? You just try and look for them. And then insert and then click close. Then they should all appear here. Okay? Can? Any question until here? Don't have? Okay, can. So let's say I load the template first. Where's my template?
Sorry, how you get the drawing line?
Okay, I'll show you again. Here. You mean this one? Hold on, I circle for you. Let me know if this is the one. This one?
Yes.
Okay, can. So it's the same thing. So you do a right click. You go to customize.
Okay.
Okay. Then over here, you should see your rectangle. Can you find your rectangle here? If you can find a rectangle, you might be able to see your horizontal line, trend line, equidistance channel. Mine is already here because I already put in. But if yours hasn't appeared, right, then it will be all here. Somewhere along the way, you will see. Yeah, so just need to paste the 5 or insert the 5 most common one.
Okay, thanks.
Welcome. So as I'm doing this, right, you can actually try out on your MT4 if you have your laptop with you. Then if immediately you face any issue, you can ask straight away. Yeah. Okay, can. So let's say this is the MT4. And then let's say I load a template already, right? Just to give you an example. Okay, so okay, so after you successfully load a template, right? This is how it will look like. Okay. Now, does anybody not know how to load a template? And you want me to run through? Okay, maybe what I'll do is I will do it. Yeah, I will do it now to show you all, just in case you are shy to ask. Okay, so again, you take any chart. Let's say you go to Market Watch, right? You take any chart. Let's say it is dollar franc that you want to open. You just do a right click, okay, and then go to chart window. Okay, so you have this chart. Now, in order for me to see properly, right, usually after I open the chart, I will just close the Market Watch. Then I focus on this. Okay, so on anywhere on this blank chart, you just do a right click. Okay, you go to template, and then you load your template. Now, for convenience, right, I usually keep my template file on my desktop, so it's easy for me to copy and paste. Because sometimes when I save in other files, I tend to forget. So I keep it on my desktop. It's the easiest way for me to remember and to find the thing. Okay, so I click on load template. Now, your template file, right, will end with TPL. Yeah, TPL. Okay, so choose the one that is the most recent one. That means this one will expire in June 2024. So don't choose the one that is like June 2023 because that one already expired. So if you have old files that you didn't delete or clear, right, then you need to ensure that you use the most recent one. Okay. So click on this and then open. Okay, so then it will be like that. Sorry. You have version 2. Yeah, version 2 is my own my own tweaking. Yeah. Oh. So I add additional lines lah. So it is not the default. So right now I only teach how to use the default. Yeah. Okay, can. So then you will come to this. Then you realize that, how come no wash line? Okay, how come no wash line? So there are a couple of things that you need to do. Okay, first, go to the leftmost, this button. Okay, go and click this button. Okay, so you will see some wash lines. But you go to H4, okay, so you see boxes, right? What if you don't see orange and blue boxes? Because it's supposed to look like that in the H4 time frame together with the wash lines. So this is what you do. If you don't see all these things, you cycle through all the time frames. Cycle through, cycle through means what? Cycle through means you press. Okay, so for example, you go to M1. Okay, you just let it load. And then M5. Okay, then you will just let it load. And then M15. Then M30. H1, H4, and then D1, week 1, and MN. Okay, so by the time you are done, right, the lines and the boxes, right, your auto boxes should be there already. Okay, now if they are still not there, then you cycle one more time. Okay, sometimes you need twice lah, but seldom I need twice. Yeah, so usually one time, you do everything from M1 to MN, it should solve your problem. Okay, can. So this is how you load the template. Okay. Any question you want to ask until here? Okay, don't have. Okay, then I'm going to show you how to use the drawing tools. Okay, how to use the drawing tools, right? To draw your support resistance, because that's what we normally do on a day-to-day basis, even before you put in alum and to do trading. Okay, so for example, right, you look at the charts and you find that there is some kind of a resistance and support. Okay, so what's the resistance? Maybe you can use the boxes to help you. For example, use the auto boxes. You see there's a level here, there's a level here, there's a level here. Very close to one another. Okay, so you then would speculate that perhaps this is a resistance. Okay, so to draw resistance and support, normally I will use rectangle. Okay, I will use rectangle, which is this one. Okay, so how to use rectangle? You click on the rectangle. Okay, so where you want to start, you see this thing hovering, right? There's a plus sign. Okay, so where you want to start, put it where you want to start, and then you just drag. Okay, so let's say it's from here to here, then I just start here and stop here. Okay, now, sometimes your rectangles may not be yellow in color. They're different from mine. Okay, so now I'm going to teach you how to change it. Okay, so you double click on the edges. Okay, so you might not be able to see very well, but if you look at your own screen, right, you will see that there are 5 dots. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, so when you are able to see the white small dots on your screen, right, you know that you have selected the thing correctly. So what you can do is once these 5 dots are out, then you do a right click. Wait, you go to rectangle properties. Okay, rectangle properties. So over here, you can change the color, whatever color you want. You can change how thick you want the lines also. So normally I will just change color. Let's say I change to green. Then okay. Okay. So after you change this already, you want to lock this in. That means you want to make sure the rectangle don't move, right? Then you need to double click on the dots again. And they will be gone. So no matter how you drag, right? You see this rectangle, it won't move. So what happens if you don't lock it? Then when you try to click to the middle and you move, right? Then the whole thing will move. Okay? So this is how you lock it in. Yeah. Any question about locking the rectangle in? Don't have? Okay, can. So you can as and when change whatever color that you want. Normally, I will try to choose a color that is easy for me to see. Yeah, so that's why I prefer to use yellow most of the time. If not like bright colors like turquoise blue. Yeah, because it highlights that area very clearly. Okay, so over here, if you need to change, let's say move the rectangle, right? Again, you just double click on the edges of the rectangle. You will see that 5 dots appear. Now to move, right, you need to make use of the center dot. Okay, the center white dot. Then you click and hold, and then you move. Move to wherever. Let's say there's a support here, you want to change here. Okay, then you want to make it shorter also can, like that. Okay, then to lock it in, you just double click and then you will lock in. Yeah, so that's rectangle. Yeah. Any question until here for rectangle support resistance? Don't have? Okay, can. Then the next one is how to use lines, horizontal lines. For example, you feel that this month wash level is a strong support, okay, and you want to mark out this line. So therefore, you click on this horizontal line, this icon. You click on it, and then you can click on anywhere on the chart. Then after that, you can move. How to move? You double click on the line. Now, when you double click on the line, you will see that there is a white dot here, and at the end here, there's a white dot. So when you double click and the white dots appear, you know they are ready to be moved. Okay? So let's say you move it down, and then you try and match this line. Okay? And then to lock it in, again, you double click so that the white dots appear, so that your lines, you see, they won't move. Okay? Now, same thing, if you want to change the color of the lines, because you find that maybe this color very difficult to see. So you just double click on the line. Okay, after you double click, the 2 white dots will appear. Okay, the 2 white dots. Then after that, you right click, go to horizontal line properties. Okay, then you can change the color. You can even change the thickness, for example. The thickness, let's say you want it very, very thick, and then you want it to be dash. Oh, this one cannot dash. So only horizontal line. So you want it to be very, very thick. You click OK. Then this line will be very, very thick. So when you transit to the week, the day chart, right, or the H4, the lines will be there. Okay? Can? Any question? Horizontal line. Don't have? Okay, comes the next one. Trend line. Okay, go back to day chart. Okay, so let's say this is the trend line. The trend line is a slanted line. Okay. So you click on this. Again, you see that cross, right? So let's say you want to plot the lows here. Okay, so from where you want to start, let's say at the bottom, right? Then you try and match here. Okay. But you realize that it doesn't cut across this nicely. So if you want, you can also do something like this, a trend line. Okay. Now, once the line is drawn, again, when you want to change, right, you double click on the trend line. Then you will see that there are white dots that appear. There are usually 3. Okay, and they're all different. So I'm going to show you what happens. So if you shift this, right, the third dot, that means if I count this as the first, first dot, second dot, third dot. Okay, so I start from the third one first. So you click and hold. You can adjust the angle. Okay, so 2, you adjust the whole line. Okay. This one, you cannot adjust anything. Only the start lah. Maybe you want to drag like that. But usually if you start from the bottom already, then no need to do this. Yeah. Okay. So I do again. This third one is like that, the angle. This one is to shift the whole line. Then this one is if you want to map to a different place instead lah. For example here. Okay. So this is what the 3 dots does. Now, again, you want to change the color of the line. You just go right click, go to trend line properties, and change the color. You can change the thickness. Yeah. For example, let's say I change this to red. Then it will become like that. Okay, can? Any question, this one? Don't have? Okay, can. So now, what if it is a case where I want to do an equidistant channel? It's very similar to a trend line. So I'm going to show you. You need to click on this one. This one has a letter E here. Okay. Click on the letter E. Okay, again, let's say you want to map the lows, right? Okay, so you do this. Cannot, then you try and match this one, something like that. Okay, so the difference between the trend line and the equidistant channel is you have the top part of it. Okay, and again, if you want to do any adjustment, just double click on it. Okay, so the dots will appear. So this is just like trend line, this one. There are 3 dots. Okay, but here, the top one, there's only 1 dot. There's only 1. Okay. So this one, when you click on it, you can shift up or down. Okay, that's the only thing you can do. This one for the up. Okay, you can only shift up or down. If you want to shift the angle, you need to shift the lower one. That means this third dot, like that. Then you will move accordingly. Okay, or you want to move like that, or like that. Example. Okay, that's the second dot. Then of course the first dot is just like to adjust like that. Okay, can. Then again, change color is go to right click, channel properties. And change color, change the thickness. Yeah. So things that cannot be changed, right? Then you realize that you cannot click. Yeah. So this is equidistant channel. Okay. Okay. So then people will ask me, what is the difference between trend line and equidistant channel? When to use which one? Okay. Now, sometimes, right, when you draw a trend line, most of the time you can also draw an equidistance channel. That means they actually travel within a certain distance, a range lah. Okay, but there will be times where you try to do a equidistance channel and it doesn't fit very nicely. A trend line may fit better. Okay, I'll give you an example. Look at this part. I delete this one first. Okay, so for example, something like this, right? It may be easier to draw a trend line like that. Okay, because if let's say you draw an equidistant, so this is trend line, right? So now I use equidistant channel. Let's say you draw like that. Then you realize the lows here, right? Even though I try and fit it here, then here, like the price action doesn't really stick to the equidistant channel. Okay, if you can see what I'm trying to say. So therefore, there will be times, right, that drawing a trend line may be easier than drawing an equidistant channel, because in order for the equidistance channel to make sense, right, price should stay nicely within the equidistance channel until something is broken. Yeah. Okay. So you realize that it will be generally easier, right, to draw an equidistance channel here, for example, as compared to somewhere here. Yeah. Okay. But at the end of the day, whether you draw equidistance channel or trend line, right, is to help you to formulate the analysis whether that region where price is at right now, right, is a good short or is a good long. Yeah, so that is really the main purpose of all the drawing tools, including the rectangle. Okay? Yeah, any question until here? Before I go to the Fibonacci, which is used less frequently. Don't have? Okay. Okay, next one. Okay, I want to delete all these. Not too many things. Okay, so now what if, right, price has traveled a certain distance, let's say it goes up already, right? And you want to plan for retracement order or limit order. Okay, so one of the things that you can do is to plan for limit order or retracement order using the Fibonacci retracement. Okay, so this is when you have the dotted lines and then there's a letter F at the bottom, this icon. Okay, so you click on it. Okay, again, we try to plot Fibonacci depending on whether you go long or short. Let's say it's a long proposition. So let's say from the bottom here, you try and go all the way up. Okay. Okay, so that means I'm trying to match here and here. Then I want to see where is the golden pocket to consider a retracement trade or a long trade. Then usually the levels will be around the 61.8. Okay, the 61.8 or the 72.6, I think. So 70 to 60 region. Okay, so when price has come back here, then this is where around this area, just nice, there's a wick wash here, right? That could be acting as a support. Then you see whether there's a bullish wash and reset up to continue to trade the long side for dollar franc. So you realize that this level, right, also nicely touches the previous high. Okay, so when you do your analysis this way, right, what you can do is also additionally, right, even use a rectangle to help you. Then you plot out this area. So one day when price is able to retrace back here, should it ever happen, then you know that this is the region you need to look for a bullish wash and reset setup. So this is what you use Fibonacci retracement for. Okay, no problem. Tim, you can ask me later, no problem. So I cover the basics first lah for the newbies. Okay. Okay, Fibonacci retracement. Now, if you are doing Fibonacci, you pull out the tool for the first time, right? Your lines likely will not be black. I think it'll be yellow based on my vague memory lah. So if you want to change the color, right? Can you see this dotted line here? This dotted line. Okay, so you need to click on this dotted line. Okay, at either the ends lah. Usually I'll click on this end. Okay, you will see that there are actually white dots that appear. I don't know whether you can see here, here, and here. Okay, so the moment white dots can appear means you can do changes to it. So for example, you can do a right click on a line. You go to Fibo properties. Okay. Okay, you go to common, this tab. You can change the color. Change it to something that you like. So for example, it could be, you want it to be very obvious, let's say black, and you want the lines to be thicker. Then you click OK. Then it will appear. Okay. Easier for you to see. So next time you want to change anything. Yeah. Hold on. I want to show you one more thing. So many. Hold on. Okay, so over here, there's also another column, this one, the Fibo levels. Okay, usually I don't change anything here. I only change the color and the thickness of the lines or the type of lines, whichever that can be changed. So for example, right, I change to green. I click OK. You see it becomes green lines? Yeah, but also difficult to see. Okay, so hold on. Let me change to a better one. Okay, levels. Let's say I use black, then you use thicker lines. Then you'll be like that. Okay, so essentially it must be able to help you to see. So you can use dash lines, whatever lines that is easy for you to see. Most importantly. Yeah, okay.